What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ryan Meyer's Expeditions. We got Justin. we have Justin Lee here you can see. And we have his friend
Uhane.
Uhane.
I told Ryan, his name is Uhane, and he's like, Uhane? He just says it's so howly.
So we're here on the beautiful Hamakua coast. We've done a bunch of videos over here all up and down on these incredible spots. You guys know this is by far the most incredible places to dive on this island. What you think?
I'm ready to dive.
It's not easy to get here. You gotta have a good friend like Justin. I'll put his Instagram down below. Slide into his DM. Ask him if he'll take you over to this island.
If you guys do come out here, just follow the same rules that I put out for everybody. 5 fish, no more than 3 of any one species, unless it's kole or mipachi, or hole and stuff like that. If you're getting for a paina, I understand that. But as far as the prize fish off the reef, you don't need more than 5.
It's a phenomenal rule to have anywhere you are in the island, potentially anywhere you are in the world. Uhane is looking for what today? What are you doing?
Kalis and Joes.
Kalis and Joes, I like it. And Justin is looking for
dinner. My grandma guys are back in town, they're in Vegas. So if a small moo comes around, a couple pound moo, they really enjoy that.
That's Justin's excuse when he shoots a small moo. He was like, this is for my grandma.
I have to have an excuse. Good excuse, and be like, I'm just Ryan Myers and I don't shoot big moo.
I got Sam's mom in town and I need some fish to feed her. The boat just went down yesterday, so I don't know if it's gonna get ready, if it's gonna be fixed in time. So I gotta get a couple fish for her. Looking for those steamers, always looking for those moos and ukus. Look at this guy. What I wanna know is what happened to him.
Bruh, my dog is in a cage and I thought he was chewing on a rope. He's chewing on my fins. So now, brand new there.
Look at that.
Brand new version.
I'm rocking that 110 Pathos laser carbon roller and a half, as Justin would call it. Good range. I got enough power to stick an ono if I see one, but plenty small and compact enough that I can hunt the reef. Stoked to get out here after traveling for the last couple weeks. Like this video and we will see you in the water. Right after jumping off the rocks, I was reminded of how special Hawaii is with these crazy color morphed nanuis. If you guys know anything about why some of these guys are yellow, let me know down below. Uhane got the first fish of the day here, a beautiful Moana Kali, and you can see him down here hunting, and he's on top of that pinnacle. So he's up on top on the high side, but he's stable, using that left hand to keep himself solid, and looking off into that deeper side where all those fish are schooling back and forth, and he manages to kind of wait until he can line up that perfect little shot on that Moana Kali and make it happen. I'm always stunned by how good these local guys are at diving. I mean, as young kids out here, you have to be a pretty good hunter to make any kind of thing happen, and these guys just develop so quickly. Justin picked up a really nice uku next, and also let me know that there was another fish down below.
The big Kali down there.
So on my next dive, I'm heading down to the bottom, and this was fairly deep. I think this was a 110-foot dive. And on my way down to the bottom, you'll see here I notice right there an uku. Now, I see this as I'm falling, and this fish is up pretty high in the water column. This thing's probably 40, 50 feet up off the bottom. Now, I am really bad at that. I cannot seem to make it happen to go over, drift towards that fish, and get close enough to get the shot. So my strategy is always go all the way down to the bottom and assume that you're so much more attractive down there, hidden in the rocks, doing your scratching, doing your dusting, and those fish will come over to you, hopefully. And that was kind of my plan right here. So I got down to the bottom, and all I have in my mind is that uku. You know, Justin said there's a nice Moana Kali down there, but ukus always come number 1. You know, if there's one of those around, I'm trying to shoot that first. And sometimes that works really well. You get down to the bottom and that uku follows you all the way down, comes right over to you and presents a perfect horizontal shot. And sometimes you never see that uku again, which is pretty much exactly what happened here. You could see there was kind of that shark cruising around, there's that little papio or omilu swimming around too, and you could see I'd noticed my Moana Kali, but I'm still like, I still got that uku in my mind. And I'm like, you know, well, I'm definitely gonna take that Moana Kali with me, but he's probably not gonna go away as long as I don't screw anything up. Kind of spooked there for a second, but he came back around and I was able to put a really nice shot and land my first fish of the day and one of my favorites to eat. After dealing with that uku, Justin headed right back down on that same spot and managed to pick up my fish's twin. So on our way to the next spot, Justin spots a nice little school of Moana Kalis that's perfect for Uhane to get down there and get one of these things. So he's trying to point out the fish to him, but he doesn't quite see them. And if you're ever in that situation, guys, and Uncle is pointing out some fish to you, and you don't quite see them, just dive. Get down there to the bottom, and a lot of times, especially if they're Moana Kalis or they're Joes or any kind of goats, they will find you. Get down to the bottom, tuck in, do a little bit of scratching, maybe do a little bit of grunting, and a lot of times those fish are moving around and they'll find you, and you have a much better chance of seeing them if you're kind of down low on their level. And that's exactly what he does here. He gets down here to the bottom and manages to post up, wait, maybe does some scratching down there. I can't quite see, he's kind of far away, but he manages to stick another beautiful Moana Kali. So we get to that next little zone that Justin was looking for, and he does a dive down, and right away this beautiful, I don't know, 15, 16 pound uku comes in, and he manages to make it happen and lands another freaking epic fish. I drop down to check and make sure the shot is good, but like so often with Justin's fish, they rarely need a second shot. I was up next, headed down to the bottom to see what I could find. Get down here, this is probably in that 70, 80 feet range, and what's so cool about this Hamakua side is that there's just so many fish to choose from. You can see that really nice Omilu or Papio that comes cruising by, that really nice big blue uhu, and what's cool about this side is that you can really be selective and be picky and kind of harvest fish depending on whatever your situation is for that day or that week or whatever you're looking for. You know, sometimes we're out there and we're just looking for special fish, and sometimes I need food, and that was today. You know, Sam's mom had just shown up in town, and I knew that I wanted to get some fresh fish for her, so I was like, you know what, next time I see one of these 3-4 pound moo, we're gonna get one. So over here on Hamakua side, you're so blessed that there seems to be a lot of them. You know, that 3-4 pound range, they're cruising in and out, and they're one of the fish that like I really enjoy eating. You know, they're big enough to kind of fillet if need be, or you can cook them whole if you want to do that. Eventually, as I'm sitting down here, I can see one that's kind of coming in, closing the distance just enough. I'm using that Pathos Laser Carbon 110 roller and a half, and I've only got a single wrap of line on this thing, so I really want to make sure that this moo comes within range before I take that shot. If you guys are in the market for any new gear and you want to get the stuff that me and Justin use, like these Pathos guns and those Setma fins and polo subsuits, you can find all that stuff over at AmericanDiveCo.com, and I've got you a 10% discount code down below. So this next dive here was a little bit deeper. I think this was 120 feet on the watch. And on my way down to the bottom, I saw this Alua. Now you'll see what I do right here. Those real rapid grunts almost always call any kind of trevally species straight over to you. I mean, you can literally see that thing speed up and come right over to check out and see kind of what I am, if I'm food. I don't know, maybe that's the trevally mating call. I don't know why, but they're so obsessed with it and they come right in. Now, Justin had said his buddy Wayne wanted one of these, so I was tempted, you know. I was looking at this thing and I was like, man, that's kind of the right size, you know, in that 40, 50 pound range to still be kind of really good to eat. But I knew that I only want to take one of these things if I'm going to get a really good shot. So you can see me think about it right here. I actually line up on this thing, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what, 120 feet, a long dive. I wasn't 100% confident in that stone shot, and I'm going to pass on this guy. So we had quite a few fish on our stringer, and whenever you have that, you run the risk of bumping into Mr. Tiger Shark. And this guy came right over, he was going to check us out, and we were like, okay, cool, that's our cue, let's start heading in. So on the way in, Justin had a cave that he wanted to check out. And this is going to be a really cool sequence, and I want you guys to kind of think about how maybe we did this. But I'm following Justin down here, and you can see this nice, slow, beautiful descent. He's kicking those Setma fins just like I am, and he gets down and he tucks right underneath into this cave. And the whole point here is he wants to hunt the moo that are outside the cave, to our left right now. But to hunt those moo, he needs to come in and get behind this rock right here. First, he's checking for kumus or anything like that might live in the cave, kumus or aluas, but then he's gonna come up to this rock and he's gonna look out and he's gonna wait and see if he can be hidden enough with me down there for those moo to come in close to him. So you can see he comes up here, gets close enough to this rock, kind of tucks behind it, and he's just kind of looking out here, being as hidden as possible in the shadow of this cave, and waiting to see if one of these really, really smart moo is gonna let him come close enough. Eventually, he waits him out long enough, they come in, and they're just within range right now, and you can see him do this really cool lunge forward, and this is just to give you that one little bit of extra push to get forward to close that gap. And you'll see he does the arm movement and then uses the body's momentum to glide forward. That was not a kick forward, that was a pull and a glide. And he was absolutely beautiful. That was a textbook move right there. And he managed to close the gap and get this move. So guys, I really wish that was one dive, but what actually happened there was on the way out, I filmed him down in the cave, and then on the way back in, we did the same thing again. But the second time, my sinuses locked up on the surface and I got down late, so I only got him from the outside edge, but I got him shooting that fish. What's really cool here about this same dive is you'll see him pull up this moo and then point out another fish down below to me. And that's actually a kumu that came out of somewhere. I don't know if it was attracted from the commotion of the moo, or maybe he was living in that cave, he's trying to get back in there, but he points this thing out to me and then the hunt is on. So the kumu is kind of like the fish of fish out here. That's what we're always looking for. And this one that he pointed out that he saw from the surface was a stud. So it was my drop, and as you can see, I'm going so freaking slow on my way to the bottom. I want to not spook this thing. I want to get down there and have this thing have no worries in the world, just like it is right now. So I'm so slow. I get down to the bottom, I do my turn, hide behind my boulder here, and you'll see me kind of look out and then get another bead on this fish and kind of spot him. I'll have Sam put a circle on him right here, but what I really want to do is I want to bring this fish to me. You know, I don't know very much about kumus. I haven't shot very many at all, probably only 3-4 in my entire life. So I don't know if I can crawl my way over to this fish or if I'm better off, if I'm safer, to kind of sit in my position and wait for him. But I know that if I don't go to him and he stays there, we've got another shot at getting this fish. If I go after this fish and I scare him away, then neither me or Justin is gonna shoot this fish today. So I'm sitting there, I'm taking the safe route, I'm waiting and seeing this thing go back and forth, hoping that it's gonna come over to me. And if you sit here and if you watch here, you'll actually see that tiger shark that we saw a few minutes ago kind of follow us in and cruise right here across the screen, which is definitely a first for me. I don't think I've ever seen a tiger shark from the bottom while spearfishing and stayed down there. So that tells you, if that tells you anything, it tells you how special these kumu are. Because normally I see a tiger shark and I'm on the bottom, I'm going to the surface. There he is right there. You can see him just kind of real right there on the edge of my visibility, cruising along, and I'm like, well, that's kind of cool, but I'm still gonna go after this kumu right here. But you can see that fish is just sitting right there above that rock, hovering, not really wanting anything to do with me. And so I'm gonna back out here, and Justin's gonna go back down and he's gonna have a shot at this guy. So Justin dove here before he even got a chance to take that moo from him, and with that moo in his left hand that he just shot, he managed to get close enough to that kumu to stone this guy and land his 5th fish of the day, closing him out, and we were headed back home.
That might be the best 5 fish I've had here.
That was sick, with the moo in your hand. That's a bunch of fish. I get it.
You got a uhu, 2 kalis.
Yeah.
I got 2 uku, a moo, a kali, and a kumu. And you got a kali and a moo. Good day.
Hell of a day. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
How'd we do, Justin?
We did good. We did really good. We all did good.
Really freaking cool dive there. Solid Hamakua variety pack. You even picked up a nice uhu, nice big blue uhu. Is that a dive bomb or was it on the bottom? I didn't see it.
Dive bomb.
Dive bomb?
Yeah.
Sick.
5 fish. Probably the better 5 fish I think I've ever speared today. Speared in a long time. This is a lot of fish. This is gonna feed my family, friends' families for a while.
And my family, because I couldn't get it done.
Can we talk about Uhane's fish? Uhane crushed it. Tell me about the kalis.
First one, I just dropped. Never even seen it. I went for Joe's. Then he came out of nowhere. And then I ended up shooting him. Then this one, Uncle Justin was telling me where it was.
So what happened was the current was kind of strong, and there was a big crack. And I saw a nice Joe, and I know before we jumped in the water, Uhane was like, hey, I want to get some Joes and stuff. So I saw a Joe, and I was like, hey, right there. You know, without even saying anything, he went down, picked the top of the ledge with a little crack to hold on to, and stay as still as he can. You know, you lie down there, you never know what's going to come in. And this beautiful kali came in, and he waited still. He executed, and he's bringing home dinner.
Then this one, Uncle Justin was telling me where it was. But I couldn't see it at first. I dove down, did a little scratch, and they came right in.
So what did we learn though when Uncle is telling you to dive that there's a fish there?
Just go straight down.
And I think that's the biggest tease, you know, like when it comes to Moana Kalis and other goatfish as well, you know, you don't necessarily have to know where they are. You just have to get to the bottom quietly, slowly, and get ready.
And they'll find you.
Exactly.
So we're going back to Justin's house. Sam and her mom are actually driving over from Kona side. We're gonna cook these fish up. We're making these two fish really Chinese style steamed fish, which is our...
Before he says anything about that kind of stuff, let's just look at the 2 pieces of wall decor. There's one.
Those are farm raised, man. Nobody wants to see your genetically modified...
And then here's number 2. See the priorities we have? There's nothing else in the house.
Okay, it doesn't count if they came off a farm, if they were raised just for you to shoot them. All right, Justin?
They had names.
We're here in Justin's new house, and we're taking those 2 big goats we had, that big giant Kumu and that big giant Moana Kali, and we're Chinese style steaming them, which is kind of like our favorite way to do those goats. I gutted them, I gilled them, I scaled them. I guess if you have an actual steam pot like this thing, steamed it for like 20 minutes. The one in the oven is still going, but we've got our parsley, our green onions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes? Do you want to sing and dance for the people?
Singing loud,
Now say like and subscribe. Say like and subscribe. I slaved all day and made egg fuyang. And then this is gravy for the egg fuyang. And then we got some salad, and I'm waiting for the oil to get hot for the sizzle bizzle.
That never gets old. What'd you do to this one?
We stuffed it with imitation crab and shiitake mushrooms, onions, some mayo.
The official taste test here between the Kumu and the Moana Kali. Samagram,
Which one is-
the consensus is what? That's the Kumu.
Wow. Buttery, soft, like really soft. It's good. I like, it's better.
Compare the 2 methods of cooking. So one, he did the peanut oil, cilantro, ginger that we always do. And the other one, he did like a crab recipe, something, crab mayo, something on top.
Crab mayo situation, mushroom situation. What?
Yeah, go.
Really flavorful, super flavorful. I actually really like it.
I like it too.
But with the Kumu, which we so rarely get, I kind of like tasting the flavor of the
Agreed.
fish. So it's kind of nice because we don't usually get this.
It is super cool to get to like enjoy all the flavor from the Kumu.
Bone.
Either way, 2 really, really prized fish that we get here in Hawaii that we've just really come to appreciate. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Like it if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time right here on Ryan Meyer's Expeditions.